CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Welcome back to Warriors Pregame Live. Brought to you by Metro PCS. Don't forget Warrior Centro. Relive Curry's Corner 3 in New Orleans, plus the one-on-one with Luke Walton and Steph and Andre. Golfing with the pros. Both of them have a pretty good game, by the way. That's tonight at 8:30. All right, we have an injury alert for you. It's regarding the Denver Nuggets. They will be missing one of their best players. Kenneth Faried will be out tonight due to a left ankle sprain. He's the big man in the paint, brings a lot of energy, strong, and will wear down opponent's big man. But once again, he will not play tonight. Also for the Nuggets, their lineup is in. Speaking of Kenneth Faried not being on the court, here's a look at that lineup. Starting at power forward will be Darrell Arthur, Danilo Gallinari, Nikola Jokic, Gary Harris, and Emmanuel Mudiay will also join him in the starting lineup. Let's hear from their head coach, Mike Malone.
You know, undefeated, #1 offensive team, #4 in defensive rating. And it's kind of fun to watch what Steph Curry's doing to the NBA. And having the privilege of coaching Steph and a few of the other guys for 2 years while I was there, to see his development. I'd be lying if I said I saw this happening. Did not see it, but here's a 6'2", 180-pound non-athlete who's dominating. And all the credit goes to him for how hard he works. But they're fun to watch. No lead is ever safe. We saw that against the Clippers the other night. They share the ball. They shoot the ball. They defend. They have toughness. They have a grit to them. So it's their streak right now is very impressive.
Speaking of grit, how do you get a defensive mindset to start this game?
Well, it's grit with intelligence. You know, I mean, they have so many shooters, and you make a mistake on them, it's usually going to be a three-point make, and they can get you down in a hurry, which we witnessed when we played them in Oakland. The only thing I can take from that game is our mindset in the second half, Chris, how hard we played, how aggressive we were. We turned them over, got easy baskets off of that. That's one thing I would say maybe one of their Achilles will be they do turn the ball over. They can be careless with the ball, so we have to be very active in our defense and just have great game plan discipline to not allow them to shoot, make 23s tonight, which they're more than capable of.
Mike Malone, a former assistant for the Golden State Warriors. He was great with the chalkboard, and that brings us to Chalk Talk. And the guy who's great with the chalk, Galina Azubuike. We need you to break down what the Nuggets have been doing on defense this season and where they need to improve.
There's been some areas on defense where they've struggled at. We've got weak side defense, transition defense, and their ball screen defense. And they got to be more consistent. They talked about how Mike Malone is a defensive-minded coach, and they've all kind of bought into that system. But there's areas where they're just not consistent enough. They've had good stretches, but there's been a lot of bad stretches here. We'll see a lob play here. Keep an eye on Tyson Chandler. He's just going to go to the basket. Look at the weak side guy. The weak side guy is the last line of defense. He's got to be there. Not even close. Easy dunk. Then we got the next play. We got transition. Watch how two guys go to one person here. The guy sees him. The guy's got the ball right there. Then you're going to get a guy right here cutting to the basket. Two guys go to one right there, wide open. No one even in the vicinity of the three-point shooter. We know the Warriors can take advantage of that. Then we got the next play here. This is going to be a ball screen. Watch the screener right here. We're going to get a hedge. And then the guy guarding the ball goes under the hedger, and he takes too long to get back to the shooter and leaves him wide open. Too much time for the three-point shooter to get his shot off. We know Steph Curry loves that. You can't go under anything with Steph Curry. You can't go under the hedger. You can't go over the guy getting screened. You got to be on Steph the whole time. And these are all areas where the Warriors can take advantage of. Who do we know that loves to throw lobs? Draymond Green. He's throwing lobs to Zealy, to Bogut. And then we got the ball screen guys that play so well in the ball screen. Obviously, Steph Curry can do it. Basically, all the guys. And then transition. They all love to get shots in transition. So these are three areas where the Warriors can really exploit.
Nice job picking out those plays. Jason, when you see that going on the court, is it a matter of fundamentals and coaching, or do you think they're lacking in personnel as far as good defenders on the team?
Well, I think that's just young guys not knowing the NBA game. When you're young and you're coming into this league, you got to talk. You got to talk the defense. You got to get to know your teammates. And a lot of those situations that we just seen where the guy's not talking, when you talk, it makes a big difference, and you understand the different schemes the coach is setting out for you. I think veteran guys on that team like Jameer Nelson, Mike Miller, got to talk the younger guys through those situations.
I know Mike Malone was loved here in Oakland, and he was also loved in Sacramento before he got the boot, which surprised a lot of people.
Right.
Are the Denver fans fortunate to have Mike Malone as their head coach?
I think give him a chance. You know, the people in Sacramento, the guys on the Kings, they didn't really want to see him go.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why they kind of tanked a little bit after he left, because they were not happy. DeMarcus certainly wasn't happy with it because they had a pretty good trusting relationship, which is important. But you look at what he's doing now with these guys. He's got a young point guard, which means you're going to have a real steep curve now in terms of growing. You look at this team now, they don't play defense, and like Jason said, to be a really good defensive team, you got to have leaders who talk. Somebody takes over sort of their defensive leader. Who is that guy on this team? I don't see that guy. And you look at the Warriors, you can point to Draymond, you can point to Bogut, you can point to, different guys that see the game and understand where somebody should be and how they should play certain things. With this team, you don't see it.
Definitely have some room for growth when you take a look at the Nuggets stats for this season. We got a page of information right here. They're struggling in several departments. So points allowed, 103.9. That's 20th in the league. Opponents' field goal percentage, 45.5%. That's 22nd. And then opponents' three-point shooting percentage, 38.8. You know Steph Curry's going to take advantage of that, Jason. He lit them up for 34. That was the 6th game of the season this year. Steph's looking for another good outing tonight.
Yes, he is. And they got to talk. They want to try to win this game. They have to talk. But I think they're just too young, too inexperienced, and the Warriors is going to pick them apart.
Just a matter of time before they win this game, you think, too, Kalina?
I think so. The thing with the Warriors is they got to respect every opponent, make sure they come out, prepare the same way they have for every single game, know their personnel, go through the scouting report, and really just respect the team that's in front of them, and I think they'll be okay.
You know what's crazy is about a week ago, I tweeted something. I said, look, I don't want to see it happen, but pick me a team that can beat the Warriors right now. And no one knew that. People were saying they're going to go 82-0, you know. Personally, I think the only team out there that can beat the Warriors is the Golden State Warriors. They can beat themselves, and that's about it. Who do you think's out there that can give them a run for their money?
I really would love to see them play San Antonio. Just because the Spurs had that aura about them. They've been around a long time. They know how to win. They're never flustered. But even the Spurs have lost a couple of games. You go, wait a minute, what's going on here? Tim Duncan the other night had no rebounds.
No rebounds.
Yeah. So it's like, what's going on with them? The Warriors will tell you, though, that, you know what, we don't worry about the opponent. If we play our game, we'll be fine. We want to meet our own standard. And they'll tell you, right now, we're not doing that, and we're still winning, so we feel kind of lucky. Yeah.
A lot of times, though, it's the teams that you are supposed to beat that sneak up on you. Remember the Brooklyn Nets game? Like the Brooklyn Nets
overtime game.
I mean, yeah. So it's like those teams that just, because everybody's going to give the Warriors their best shot. Everybody's gunning for Warriors. There's a bullseye on their back, the talk of the NBA. So everybody's going to come in and try to get a win. And a team like the Brooklyn Nets, it's those teams that are scary because you don't expect those teams to win, and you have a tendency, if you're the Warriors, to look over those teams. So that's why I say they got to respect every single game.
Yeah. You look at Brooklyn, and what they did was they hung around the game. They hung around and hung around. And when you have a guy like Jarrett Jack, who is as fearless as they come, I mean, Jarrett loved the fourth quarter, a close game. Yeah. He wants to take the big shot, and he was nailing the Warriors. The Warriors seen him do this before. He heard him again the other night, got it into overtime, and wasn't able to finish it. But that's the thing that you're talking about, though, is that if a team can stay close, if they have a guy who can finish, there aren't a lot of teams that have those guys. Yeah. But if they've got a team that stays close to him, that has a finisher, they could be the game that they would lose.
You know, Steve Kerr is a very humble guy. And when you go around there and you talk with the Warriors, you keep hearing, yeah, Steve was around here this day, and yeah, he was at this practice, and yes, he made the trip to L.A., but he wasn't at the game, but he helped prior to the game. What type of role do you think Steve Kerr actually has with the team? It seems like he wants to make sure Walton gets all the credit, but Steve Kerr's hands are deep, deep into the system, and it's a major reason why this team is playing well right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't see him, but his fingerprints are all over. I mean, it's a different face, but the message is still the same. Luke Walton is just saying the same things that Steve Kerr was saying, and it's a great thing to see because they're all working together. The team knows what the message is, and like I said when we were talking about it on Sports Talk Radio, I think it was, this is the class that still behaves even for the substitute. That's what the Warriors are. And I love the way they're doing it. And they trust each other. They trust Luke Walton. And they're playing well for him.
Luke will tell you that, too, that what he's doing is basically what he thinks Steve would want him to do. And so They're not changing anything per se, you know. But when he gets to the point where he's trying to figure out what do I need to do at this specific point, he looks and goes, okay, what would Steve do? That's really something that goes through in his mind. So while Steve is there, he's not coaching. He does give them messages. He had a real nice speech apparently to them down in L.A. before they played the Clippers. So I think what you're seeing now is Luke is growing into this role. He's comfortable now, but this is still Steve's team, and Luke knows it.
Jason, give me a key to the game tonight.
I think a key to the game tonight is just shoot the ball. They're playing against one of the worst teams that's defending the three, and the Warriors, they live and die by three with great shooters. I mean, Denver has to defend the three, but the Warriors go get a lot of them up.
All right.
I'm going to say match the energy.
Match the
Because
energy.
Denver sometimes, that altitude sometimes gets the guys, and the nuggets come out really fast, it could get interesting.
Points in
Not for
transition.
long.
Points in
That's
transition
my
from
key.
Kalina.
Yeah, they struggle there, so they got to shoot them. Look for those open shots.
Draymond Green, are you going to tell us any secrets? Well, maybe the next.
Winning the title capped off one of the best all-around seasons in league history. Now the Warriors are on the verge of the greatest start the NBA has ever seen. The challenge has been anything but easy. There's still hard work ahead, but you know this team possesses the stamina, will, and desire to reach heights only the greatest ever attain. A one-day road trip, 5,280 feet above sea level. The Warriors taking on Denver, looking for new heights for beginning of an NBA season. Yes, Dub Nation travels. They're all in the building to see if the streak lives on. Can this Warrior team go 15-0 and keep the perfect season alive? Hello, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald alongside Jim Barnett, and 70 years of NBA basketball. 15-0 to start the year. Well, the Warriors could move into the history books tonight.
There are many chapters in history, and the Warriors are attempting to write one tonight. This is mid-November, and it feels like playoff atmosphere. It's so fun and exciting to be around this team, particularly at this time.
The streak has had so many special moments. When you look at the Warriors push to the brink and they come from 23 down. Steph Curry comes out with monster games against New Orleans. Everyone is kicked in at different times.
The leading scorer in the league, you can always depend on him in the fourth quarter with that shooting. But this team is selfless. They get great shots because they move the ball around. Andre Iguodala's three-point shooting is remarkable this year. Harrison Barnes' fourth quarter finishes the last couple of games, and they make exciting plays, stealing the ball from Noah and lobbing it in to Iguodala. They're just an exciting team to watch. They really control their destiny. They're never out of the game.
The numbers have to be seen to be believed. They've been over 100 in every game. They're the best shooting team in the league. They play that defense, and oh yeah, they like to get up and down.
So many superlatives with this club, and it's really such a deep roster. It really involves everyone.
And for the Warriors, that depth has been tested. The second unit, the small lineup, different ways they can hurt you. They'll be challenged tonight, and they are really every night. They get every team's best shot.
Yeah, I think you have to worry about 5,000 feet elevation even tonight, but they've got to get off to a good start. This is a milestone for them, and they want to claim this title of 15 in a row and then make it 16 when they meet the Lakers.
This is the second time they've seen the Nuggets. Young, hungry, energetic, a team that'll get up and down. For the Warriors, they will have to do it defensively. Slow down Danilo Gallinari. Watch out for the precocious point guard Emmanuel Mudiay. Can they make it 15 on a special Sunday night in Denver? Henry, Helena, and Jason back in the Comcast studios right after this.
Welcome back to Warriors Pregame Live. We're only a couple of minutes away from tip-off. Klay Thompson, his numbers won't blow you away this season, but are you concerned at all, Kalina, with what he's shown on the court?
No, I'm not concerned. Early on, there was a little bit of hesitation in his game. Right now, I'm seeing no hesitation. All his moves are decisive. As soon as he gets the ball, he goes into it. It's decisive. I love it. He's such a great shooter. All he's got to do is keep shooting, and they're going to eventually go in.
Jason?
Not concerned at all. I think Klay is, I call old school shooting guards. Strong, play defense. He's going to bring his game back, and it's going to come.
Well, Michael Thompson is definitely tired of hearing the negative comments. Clay's dad said, if you think he's having a bad season, you don't know basketball.
Right.
By the way, he also said the Lakers will beat the Warriors on Tuesday. We'll talk later.
for tip-off. Here's Fitz and JB.
Draymond Green having a great weekend with his Spartans beating Ohio State. Warriors and Nuggets, and the team looking to make it a great weekend and move to 15-0, become only the third team ever to do that in NBA history. Now, the Xfinity starting lineup: Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. For Denver, no Kenneth Faried, and so Emmanuel Mudiay, Gary Harris, Danilo Gallinari with Darrell Arthur, and Nikola Jokic will play at center. Jim, you can throw a lot of numbers at people and you get immune to them, numb after a while.
Sure.
The Lexus pursuit of perfection, though, if you're a Warrior fan, really let this sink in. Since the beginning of last year, they are 97-20, 56-4 at Oracle, and 41-16 on the road.
They've won all 6 on the road, trying to make it 7 tonight. No, they're a remarkable club, resilient. They believe in themselves. They play together. They got a deep bench. They don't rely. I mean, there's so many people that help out in clutch situations.
Bogut inside, flipping it up and in. And without Faried, Arthur, and Jokic, Denver is playing big. Warriors won Friday night against Chicago. The Nuggets blew a 17-point lead in losing to Phoenix on Friday. Shot clock at 5. Gallinari from deep. Drops in at 3. Gallinari averages 19.7 against the Warriors. That's the best against any opponent for him.
And on November 6th at Oracle Arena, he got 25 in that game.
He likes that city logo and the blue jersey as an opponent. Klay Thompson 3.
This team did not defend the 3 against Phoenix, that loss you're talking about. Phoenix Suns hit 15 of 27 from three-point range. That's a bundle.
Gallinari hit the 3, missed the runner. Jokic unable to tip it in. Well, Mike Malone, after Denver lost to Phoenix, was about as blunt as you'll ever hear an NBA head coach.
You're exactly right.
Basically, we're the worst team defending the 3. If guys aren't going to play hard as Curry flips it in, they're not going to play for me. I don't care who you are.
He said defending the three-point line was a joke.
It was blunt and direct. And we'll see if the Nuggets have any response. Mudiay had his career high Friday night, as did Gary Harris.
26 and 20, respectively. Well, this young club, they're going to be good in the future.
Klay knocked it away. Shot clock's at 1. Mudiay just had to hoist, and it never hit iron. So the Warriors playing 24 seconds of quality defense. And our friend Mike Malone, former Warrior assistant, former Kings head coach.
He had a lot to say about the firing of Kevin McHale after 11 games, since he was fired a couple years back from the Kings after 24 games. I guess that was just last year.
The lob to Bogut, perfectly thrown.
Caught him napping. That's the thing about this team. You're so aware of their three-point percentage and proficiency that it brings people out of the lane. When they spread it like that, perfect time for the lob.
Number 1 in assists in the NBA. Best shooting team in the NBA. Jokic. Ricochet rebound to Bogut. Harrison Barnes, who had those 2 killer threes against the Bulls to put them away in the fourth quarter Friday night. Harrison had nowhere to go. Shot clock at 8. Klay Thompson out to Draymond Green. And his 3 is perfect. His career best three-point shooting just continues.
Well, that's a great example. Several people could have forced shots. They didn't. They chose to work the clock all the way down, never panicked, and they got a wide open 3.
Beautiful pass to Gary Harris on the baseline. Steph Curry from deep, rimming that out. You know, you look at the Nuggets, they're a half game out of the top 8 in the West.
Right.
And there's some teams right around 500. It's been a very interesting beginning to the Western Conference this year, as Harris able to score again. And so Denver has surprised some people, been more than competitive.
Yeah, you got Memphis at 500, Utah's at 500. the Clippers. I think losing today will be 6 and 7, the same as the Nuggets. But when I look at the Nuggets, I see kind of white T-shirts that remind me of playing at the YMCA.
Luke Walton trying to get to 15-0 with this Warrior squad. Only the Washington Capitals and the Houston Rockets, the only two teams that have ever been 15-0 to begin a season. And Harrison Barnes had the hand caught in the cookie jar there. Danny Crawford and Leroy Richardson blowing the whistles, along with Gediminas Petraeus, who is our young third official tonight.
Yeah, I talked to Gediminas before the game. Or Gediminas, I guess it is. Gediminas, yes.
Tonight's game available on CSNBayarea.com and NBC Sports Live Extra for your mobile phone or tablet. Stream the Warriors on the go wherever you are. You're there. Another three. Arthur Lake getting there. Bogut the rebound. Andrew will smartly let it go out of bounds. Fresh 22 now for the Warriors. They trying to use that Bogut screen. Harrison slicing inside.
All the focus on the weak side defensively, looking at the ball, wondering what Clay's going to do with protecting the rim. Maybe Bogut's going to roll in and get the lob.
Darrell Arthur is a very competent mid-range shooter. Warriors have opened 5 of 9, Nuggets 4 of 8. All 5 Warrior buckets have an assist attached to them. Turnover then. Entry pass too high for Draymond Green.
Don't see that occur very often, particularly when they were that close together. Denver without Kenneth Faried, without Wilson Chandler all year long.
I think they'll be better also when Jusuf Nurkic comes back. As Gallinari misses, Bogut the rebound. And Bogut had just touched the baseline as he came down with the ball. I mean, they get their center tandem of Nurkic and Jokic, and those are two young, fairly mobile, interesting players at the center spot.
Without question.
Gary Harris attacking. Bogut bothered him, and Draymond breaks out of the pack. Steph Curry, nice delivery, but Harrison couldn't finish. And Draymond Green was fouled.
Not many people in this league will take the risk that Stephen Curry did on this. Watch this pass right through the arms of Darrell Arthur. And, of course, the relentless pursuit of the ball by Draymond Green.
I always ask you, Jim, from a former player standpoint, the elevation here, is it real? Is it imagined? Does it have an effect?
It's real. It's real, especially the first 5-6 minutes.
Klay Thompson missing there.
It affects you in many ways. They'll want a timeout before long here.
And Moutier with Bogut fouling him to make sure that wasn't going to be a layup.
That's something you have to be cognizant of, that you're at 5,000 feet elevation. Didn't see the man with the ball. The first priority is to stop the ball. That could have been Draymond Green. He ran back, not looking at it. You can't rely on your center to cover that much ground that fast.
So Moutier, 7th pick in the draft, the high schooler, was going to go to SMU. There were some irregularities academically. He went to play professionally in China, played 7 professional games in China, and we saw him in the preseason. We like him, Jim.
Oh, very much. He does not play like a 19-year-old. He's very mature, very confident, very strong. He can get to the lane, and ironically, he's shooting better from the perimeter. He's not great. He's at 28% from threes, but we've seen some games where he's been pretty proficient.
Hey, Thompson. You saw when Moutier shot the free throws. We showed you his high school prime prep. That was Deion Sanders High School prime prep, as in prime time. It is no longer an accredited high school in Texas. Gallinari, what a finish.
He just finds ways to score. Coming off that knee injury, which inhibited him last year.
Feeding Bogut inside, little lefty hook. That was nice. Ball hopping around for the Warriors.
He likes that left-hand hook, and he got his legs underneath him. A nice power up on it.
Mudiay had his pocket picked by Steph Curry.
He will turn the ball over. He's had 11 turnovers in a game one time this year, Mudiay.
Klay Thompson was out of bounds before he shot that three. So some very odd turnovers. Not really having anything to do with Denver. Carelessness with the court.
This is Harrison Barnes, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Welcome back to the Pepsi Center. Tie game between the Warriors and the Nuggets. This summer, Draymond Green told his personal trainer, Travis Walton, that he wanted to improve on post moves, jumpers, floaters, and ball handling. Well, I spoke with Travis Walton, and he said Draymond has always been a high IQ basketball player, but where he's improved the most is in ball handling. And that ball handling has given Draymond the confidence that he needs to make the great passes we're seeing this season. He's more comfortable to drive and draw the defense or get to the spots where the passing angle is best. Ball handling is also helping his hand-eye coordination too. As his passes are crisp, on point, he can pass with his right and left hand. Jim, how much more comfortable does Draymond look this year?
Oh, night and day difference. You can see he relishes handling the basketball. He likes nothing better than to get a rebound and bring the ball all the way down the floor 80 feet.
And when you're leading all forwards in assists, and there's another guy named LeBron James on that list, that's pretty impressive.
He's just learned how to make decisions, and that improved ball handling gives him confidence that he doesn't have to look at the ball all the time. It's like a yo-yo. It's still part of him. So he's going to be more proficient, more adaptable.
Mudiay rimming that out, and Bogut inhales that rebound. Warriors at 54%. Nuggets now 39%, but it's a tie game because of the Warrior turnovers.
Yeah, it's tough when you step out of bounds. When you make a three, it doesn't count.
Jokic knocked it away, and then Arthur was out of bounds.
I like the aggressiveness, though, of Andrew Bogut offensively here. They're going to need him tonight. It was a nice little power move.
He's got 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist.
You can see that losing that weight, being a little thinner, made him a little quicker there. Gives him a little reason to try to make it.
Andre Iguodala's first playing time. Klay Thompson lobbing it to Bogut. Not only Draymond's gotten better, but how about Klay looking to create for others on certain plays? And Mudiay just stepped in bounds and out of bounds.
Because Stephen Curry was overplaying. Dribble penetration. You bring another defender, and the big man has no chance then. Trying to stop Klay, he just delivers it softly. Bogut the recipient.
That was a teenager turnover. You don't want to step in bounds before you inbound it. Bogut couldn't quite get that Klay miss.
But he got up there, didn't he? Got up there quickly. I like his activity tonight. Right in front of us.
Gallinari's a very tough cover. He can step all the way out to the three-point line. He can put it on the deck. Mudiay is not a good three-point shooter, under 30%.
Exactly.
Iguodala setting up a man who is a good three-point shooter. Steph Curry with the three.
And as you said before the game, there are a lot of Warriors fans here. They are all over this building, and you heard them on that one.
They did it in the road game in the Clippers where they turned the building against the home team. 7-0 run for the Warriors. They expand the lead, and Curry keeps his streak alive with a three made. Warrior lead at 5 with 4:17 remaining in the first. Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Roz Gold on Wood A in Denver. Our AT&T U-verse rewind. A couple of years ago, Harrison Barnes, his first 30-point game, a career high, did it to the Nuggets. Inside, outside, and during this stretch in this beginning of the season, Harrison Barnes in the 2 Clipper games, and then the mid-range against Chicago, then the 2 killer threes. That 30 career high, I think, was a portent of things to come for the man you call the Senator.
And you know what? There's still more to grow in him. and you can see it. I love the last 2 games. He put them back-to-back 21 and 20 points. And terrific fourth quarters, as you mentioned. Stephen Curry came to the rescue late in the game against Chicago, but then Harrison Barnes just cleaned it up with those 2 threes about 40 seconds apart.
His 7 career games in Denver, 72% three-point shooting? Are you kidding me?
Well, they had a pretty good run a few years ago in that playoff when Denver won 57 games and the Warriors knocked them off in the first round.
Yeah, Curry's 3 as we went to break, 88 straight games now. 3rd longest streak, but just a game away from tying Dana Barros. Steph knocking it away. Steph in a foot race. Jokic can't catch him, and he puts it up and in.
He did that by just putting his hands up into the passing lane. He didn't really see the ball. He knew where it was going.
Jokic will draw the foul.
Check out Steph Curry defensively here. See, he did not have vision of the ball, but he knew it was going back out, and he put his hand up in a logical place. He gets a steal. The Warriors get 2. He just adds to his total.
Nikola Jokic, 11th pick in the 2nd round this past year. He is Serbian and had played professionally there.
And he's another 20-year-old.
They're an incredibly young team, which is what Denver should have done. Once Iguodala left, that playoff team you were talking about that the Warriors vanquished a couple of years ago, that began the splintering of the Nuggets.
Gary Harris is only 21. He had a heck of a game against the Warriors last time in Oracle Arena. He had 6 of 8 shooting.
That Moutier and Harris, Jokic, Nurkic, Gallinari, that's kind of the future of this team. Harris went for the steal. Steph rattling out the 3. Festus Ezeli's first playing time with Draymond Green, Iguodala, Steph, and Clay. Gallinari, Darrell Arthur, Nikola Jokic with Gary Harris and Jameer Nelson. And Arthur is fouled on a jump hook.
When he got deep position, he flashed in. One of the rare mistakes you'll see the Warriors allow to happen. That's really tough to defend because the ball went to the other side, and you're between your man and the ball initially, and then he's so big you couldn't get around him. That's what happened with Andre on that play.
Arthur missing the free throw. J.J. Hickson will check in to play up front with Darrell Arthur. Mentioned no Kenneth Faried tonight. Both free throws missed, and Iguodala tracking it down.
Let's see if Festus Ezeli can cash in on some of those lobs that got Bogut up to 8 points on 4 of 5 shooting.
Now holding on to Steph Curry. This is interesting. Is off the ball, Jim. Teams have increased their physicality so much that for Steph, he's had to play through some of it. But a lot of times, he's getting bumped around, and if you get a whistle, that helps. If it goes uncalled, it's a way to try to slow him down.
There's a lot of grabbing and holding. He's got to fight through all of that. That was pretty easy for him there.
I mean, Heinrich was wearing his jersey the other night. Shot clock at 4. Curry into Ezeli. Tight quarter traffic, and still a nice delivery.
Beautifully done again, and in traffic, I like the way his hands are developing. Getting him ready, clearing a little space.
Draymond's got Jameer Nelson on a switch.
That's what he likes to do.
Jameer Nelson trying to be that veteran stabilizing influence on this Denver squad. John Livingston keeping the ball moving to Iguodala, and his 3 is perfect.
He likes to play here, you know that. By the way, I just want to go back to Stephen Curry. Heinrich was all over him, but not nearly as much as Chris Paul was.
Oh, man.
I mean, I can't believe that Paul was even on the floor late in the game. Should have had about 9 fouls.
Different set of rules. Gallinari, nice pump fake.
He got 2 or 3 defenders up on that one. Sean Livingston passes up a potential layup, but he draws all the defenders, and he knows a wide open Iguodala has a chance to make it. Iguodala's 3-point shooting is remarkable.
I'm just going to say, Jim, you were on NBA TV pregame, and they were asking about the sustainability of the Warriors' 3-point shooting.
Right.
When Draymond Green's 44% and Iguodala's going to be 45%, Harrison above 40, then Steph Curry, then Klay Thompson, the rest of the league's in trouble.
And they were asking, talking about also the stamina. Can they play the full season like this and keep that kind of pace up? And we talked about the deep bench. But yeah, and I said very simply, yes, they can keep up the 3-point shooting if you're talking about that specifically.
Yeah.
They did it last year.
Did you give them 67 reasons why they might be able to do that?
From 2014-15.
67 and 15.
And then you always bring up the 97 and 20.
It's incomprehensible.
97 and 20.
I want to know, as this continues to expand, what's the greatest stretch of winning in NBA history? Steph Curry off iron there. You know the 72 and 10 Bulls. You know the Celtics had great runs. In and out of the hands of Will Barton there. And Jameer Nelson nearly the steal.
I'm just surprised Iguodala didn't take him to the hole initially. Overpower him. But as they say, they're unselfish. They're not in a hurry.
Skip pass to Steph. And the Warriors finally do turn it over. Playing with fire a little bit on that trip down.
But it keeps the defense guessing.
You know, Roz had talked to Luke Walton about a better start. You saw on the board.
Yes.
Pregame, get off to a better start. How would you assess this first quarter?
I think it's terrific. They've had a couple of bad breaks here and there. They've committed, step out of bounds and hit a three and doesn't count. They've turned the ball over, but it hasn't really cost them because Denver's not shooting well. I love the way they're assisting, moving it. They've missed some shots, but they're active. They're hustling. You can tell that they're on top of their game.
And the reason it was an emphasis, you think of the Brooklyn first quarter, and then Toronto and the Clippers. The Warriors were falling behind. And that ball was kicked.
Even the Chicago first quarter allowing the Bulls 29 points.
Right.
Heinrich had a great first quarter.
And it's not, I think to read Luke's mind for a second, it's not that the Warriors aren't ready. Like, it's not like they're just rolling out half awake. It's that the other teams are giving them 1,000% of their effort from the jump. Hickson sent away. Festus, good defense going straight up. Deflected to Iguodala in traffic, still able to finish. There's Draymond, the one-man fast break.
Yep, he loves doing that, doesn't he? A lot of options there. Could have finished it himself. Iguodala using that rim, coming up and under.
This is the Warriors' largest lead. Final minute. Barbosa getting his first playing time. Molinari. Livingston knocked it away.
Well, they know he's not going to give it up, so they can collapse on him.
Will Barton will get the freebie. He had the steal or the dunk.
And one reason teams come out early against the Warriors, yes, they're the defending champions. It's a big game for them. They don't want to get behind by 10, 15 points because then they realize it's basically over.
Yeah, you're in the trail position against this team.
The rest of the way.
Draymond three.
It's a confident shot there.
That's a great word, Jim. I mean, he shot it, ran back like no problem. Draymond Green's got 6 points to go with his 4 boards and 2 assists.
He can hit it from 23-9 up top. 22 feet is becoming commonplace for him.
That corner three against the Clippers might have been the biggest shot of the game at the end of the third. Iguodala with the steal. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Running with Livingston, lobbing it up.
That's the way to finish a quarter. With their defense.
The open floor of the Warriors. Gallinari trying to play beat the clock. His three's offline. And the Warriors through the first 12 minutes get off to a good start. So far, so good. Shoot it at 60%, 34 points, an 11-point lead, and everyone up and down the roster in blue ready to go. A chance at history on a Sunday night. And the Warriors up 11 after the first 12 minutes.
I'm Andre Iguodala, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the NBA champs.
In Denver, Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Roz Gold on Wood-A with you. And the first quarter numbers, brilliant in so many areas. I can't get over Rocky the mascot at midcourt on this extension ladder, trying to bank in a shot, and it had the Warriors captivated on their bench to see if he could do it.
Well, he's about 20 feet in the air, and you're just worried that he might fall off the ladder. How about fall? He's trying to make a shot on one bounce. He came close, did not make it. He's known for making half-court shots backward over his head.
The scary thing is, though, if the game lasted 2 more minutes, Steph wanted to get up on the ladder and see if he could make a shot from there.
No way. Let me tell you something about Andre Iguodala. He came in with 5:29 to go in the first quarter. The score was 15-15. The Warriors outscored Denver for that 5:29 that Andre was on the floor, 19-8. He is plus 11 in his 5 minutes and 29 seconds on the floor.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the, you can look at Iguodala's season numbers just in the abstract. You have got to watch him play basketball and the impact he has when he's on the floor. He was #1 plus minus in reserves a year ago, and he's doing the same thing again this year. Jameer Nelson hitting the jumper. It is Sean Livingston Iguodala with Leandro Barbosa, Harrison Barnes, Festus Ezeli for the Warriors. Leandro, a tough take there. J.J. Hickson, Will Barton, Darrell Arthur, Jameer Nelson, and Randy Foy, and that one banking in.
Barton gets the roll.
And Will Barton, you said, Jim, he loves kind of an up and down tempo.
Yes, he does. He's not a bad basketball player for someone who's kicked around a little bit. Drafted by Portland back in 2012. Spent a couple years there.
Livingston curling that out. Ezeli didn't come down with the rebound, nearly banked it in.
I love the effort. I like the action. No problem there at all.
Shot clock at 11. Hickson couldn't go anywhere on Festus. Hart tried to give it back to him. Harrison Barnes the steal. Randy Foy will stop that fast break.
Foy's not getting the playing time that he did last year here.
And that's really the growth of Gary Harris and where the Nuggets are going in the future.
Randy Foy's 32, hard to believe. Jameer Nelson's 33. They're part of the old group.
Harrison with that patented mid-range.
I'll tell you, that's so consistent for him now. He can get it any time that he wants. So comfortable, so relaxed.
Here trying to set up, kicks it inside, and he will draw the foul. Used a good word with Harrison Barnes in terms of relaxed.
Yes.
With this second unit, he is one of the focal scorers.
Yes.
And that mid-range is really part of his game. He can shoot threes, he can score on the open floor, but he's at a comfort level with the second unit. He plays with the starters too, but I love him as a scorer with the second team.
Well, they needed a score there. They hadn't scored in the quarter.
Warrior season ticket priority list has grown to 18,000 and counting. You have priority access to exclusive presale opportunities at 888-GSW-HOOP. Representatives ready to help you right now.
Hickson misses them both.
Livingston off back iron. Harrison Barnes was held as he went for that rebound.
Just simple pursuit of the basketball. If you do that and you have hustle plays, you're going to get offensive rebounds. You're going to get fouls called on the other team. Long rebounds are important in this game. Work on that little jump hook, maybe.
Ezeli, no double coming. Gathers. There was the jump hook. It looked good. Just hit off back iron. I think this coaching staff has done an excellent job with this grouping. As Will Barton, a flying shot that he is fouled on. Is that this second unit, Ezeli now with Iguodala, Livingston, Harrison, and Barbosa. And they can play both ends of the floor, but this was kind of a crazy shot.
They feel comfortable. No. With Will Barton, we know he's going to take shots like this. He just is a very open court type of player. Likes to go a lot one-on-one. And you saw those numbers before, 19 points. Of course, that was a pretty open game.
Yes.
When you're scoring 119 yourself.
Well, when you're up 30 at halftime.
Right.
74-44 in the first meeting against the Nuggets. Livingston a three. And the whole bench coming up. They want Sean to hit his first three of the season. Barbosa, great steal.
Well, Livingston had missed his 2 little mid-range jumpers. He said, why not go to 3 for me?
He's been working on threes. It's a set shot look, and he likes the corner. Iguodala's got the size advantage on Nelson. Barbosa shuffled the feet. So 6 Warrior turnovers.
Well, he got his feet set after the ball came into the palm of his hand there. That was the little shuffle.
Luke Walton's going to use the timeout with 9:03 remaining in the first half, and the Warrior lead at 6.
Welcome back to the Pepsi Center. Warriors up 6 on the Nuggets. I spoke with Luke Walton, and where he said he feels he's grown the most is in trusting himself. It's natural to want to second guess yourself, but he's made a mental promise that he's going to live with his decisions. I asked him, does he ever feel like a player out there again? And he said, sometimes I get drawn into the emotions of the game, and I feel like a player then, but he tries to channel Steve Kerr and Phil Jackson's steadiness and poise because he feels like the team reflects the coach's demeanor. He said it's a challenge knowing when to be calm, when to be fiery, or when to talk a lot, or when to lay out and talk little to the team. He says stylistically, he tends to be more calm and put things into perspective for the players, but he said there's nothing wrong with emotions, and sometimes he chooses to get loud and try to get them angry on purpose. Guys?
I think Luke has done a phenomenal job from training camp on. Not only is he in constant communication with Steve Kerr, but Luke and this staff putting their best foot forward, and the players have taken ownership to put their best foot forward, and it really is because they don't want to let Steve down. They want Steve Kerr to still know that they're going to take care of the basketball stuff so he can rehab and recover on his own, and everybody is collaborating for great things with the Warriors.
Well, this is a team that is very responsible, and they hold themselves accountable. And I said they're a very mature team, confident team, good values. They've got great values on and off the floor.
Harrison Barnes, that was spectacular defense. And then a better pass to Iguodala. Harrison Barnes picked Jameer Nelson's pocket.
Jameer wasn't going anywhere with it, and you pick it as it's going down. He picked it right off the floor, right off the hardwood.
That was special. Now another steal. Livingston running with friends. Barbosa hanging, and McAdoo finishing. So James Michael McAdoo inserted very quickly, and here's that second unit and the depth on full display. Jim, the Warriors have 9 steals already in the game, and they're running it down the Nuggets' throat.
And they're scoring points in the paint. They're not relying on three-point shooting. You mix it in like that, you get dunks and layups, you force timeouts from the other team.
Double-digit lead as they push it to 10. The Nugget lead at deficit at 10 with the 8:19 remaining in the first half. And Jim, you say you know the best lineup the Warriors have. Would it surprise you with our McDonald's True Story that that is the top 5 plus-minus players in the NBA?
Well, you cannot play them for 48 minutes together. We know that. They've got Andrew Bogut. They've got Festus Ezeli. But at times, you spring this lineup on them, and it looks like no one knows how to handle them. And they know how to handle themselves. Those are remarkable numbers. The top 5 plus-minus players in the league are on the Warriors.
And if you're wondering what plus-minus is, the game starts at 0-0. As the score accumulates, when you're on the court, what is the score? And Steph Curry is the highest plus-minus player in the NBA.
For instance, right now with 8:19 left in the second quarter, Draymond Green's a plus 11. Andre Iguodala is a plus 10. But he was a plus 11 in 5 minutes and 29 seconds in the first quarter.
Which is insanity to be that effective. Plus-minus also originates from hockey. That's if you're on the ice when you score a goal versus if you're on the ice defensively when your team allows a goal. Hickson, nice little step around.
He can cover a lot of territory with that big body of his. Good footwork there.
Now McAdoo is auditioning for minutes. Yeah, Bogut and Ezeli, but the rip and run backup center. Is that going to be Spates? Is that going to be Jason Thompson? Is that going to be McAdoo? Terrell Arthur putting that in. So the Warriors had the 11-point lead. Here come the Nuggets.
Well, it got down to 6 in less than a minute. 2 steals, got it back to 10, but then they countered. Livingston's struggling from the outside, so he's getting it all inside. He's 2 of 6 tonight.
And his pump fake, like you always enjoy, paid off for him.
He's smart, though. I'm not hitting outside. I'm going to work myself inside and get some easy ones. Then it'll start coming.
Will Barton handling with the shot clock at 7. Arthur stepped all the way out to the three-point line.
He's got a hot hand now.
Terrell Arthur hitting a couple shots. He's got 7. Gallinari's got 9. It's Bogut's 8 that leads the Warriors.
Hey!
McAdoo was fouled.
Penetration in traffic, a little bounce pass. Got hit with the body along the right side of the, or the left side of the arm there.
First Warrior free throws of the game. Denver is 9 of 13 from the line. Warriors have yet to shoot a free throw until right now. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson checking back in.
McAdoo had made his last 2 free throws against Chicago the other night. Missed that one, and let's see how this goes.
That one looked good.
Well, that's 3 out of the last 4. I'll take that all season long from him. Remember, he had a... We'll talk after this play.
Hickson missing, and Harrison Barnes a rebound.
McAdoo had a really great game here in Denver when Iguodala didn't play, Curry didn't play last year.
Also, too, McAdoo's career debut, as Barton blocks that, was a double-digit effort at Oracle, where he was his first NBA game. He was a double-digit scorer. And then, as you said, when he came to Denver,
yeah,
was a double-digit scorer again.
It's terrific.
Terrell Arthur.
And he's feeling it. I mean, he scored a quick 8 here.
He gets the start without Fareed playing. You remember him in Memphis. Very serviceable backup big.
Let's call it 9 because they gave him a 3-pointer there. They thought it was a 2 earlier.
11-point lead at 4 right now. McAdoo jumper. Pretty good confidence.
Yes, I like that. And so does Ron Adams, who works with him relentlessly every practice, long after practice. A lot of hours together.
Hickson setting up Will Barton.
He's a really good athlete, isn't he, Barton? 2 years at Memphis.
A little behind McAdoo, and the Warriors turn it over.
Well, you got a game here. Denver's giving it all they have.
This doesn't surprise me from the Nuggets, though, Jim. When your coach absolutely roasts your team publicly,
yep,
the very next game, you're going to get some kind of response.
I think that's the message he was sending.
When's the last time an NBA coach said the way we guarded the three-point line was a joke? I mean, that's about as strong as it gets. Will Barton for 3. Draymond Green the rebound. So Livingston playing with the other 4 starters. And Klay Thompson drawing the foul. So Ian Clark will check in. Livingston will sit. Sean with 4 points and 2 assists. Thompson rimming it in.
How do you defend that? You can't. I mean, he just like a pogo stick up there in the air coming to the ball. Beautifully done.
Boudier, right idea. Arthur bothered by Draymond Green.
Curry gets another rebound.
Draymond running the floor, and Randy Foye quick hands. Will Barton in the middle of that nice assist. Credit the Nuggets. Warriors had the 11-point lead at the end of 1. Steph down the lane, and he's got 9.
Well, he knows Gallinari's not a shot blocker. And, of course, that quick release nails people to the floor. And Warriors have lost track of their defender, their offensive players. Their defense has gone south.
And Arthur is just roaming the baseline. Hit a couple jumpers, now a couple inside putbacks, and he's got 13. Klay Thompson off front iron. Said the Warriors are getting everyone's A game, and tonight is no different.
Arthur's got 11 in the quarter himself.
Number 14, Gary Harris, and number 15, Nikola Jokic.
If Draymond Green thought about coming in, you've always have to protect the basket first. That's the #1 law. You don't want to give up the 3. That's why he hustled back out. But you've got to wait and then try to recover to the 3-point line, but you don't want to give up a dunk.
NBA jumper, and Jokic a flat-footed rebound. And Draymond fouling him.
Number 23, Draymond Green. His second.
In Oakland, the Warriors dominated in the first half. They had a 30-point lead. Denver was excellent in the third and fourth quarters of those games. And tonight, Warriors dominated the first quarter, and Denver has owned this second quarter.
Well, it's like their last game against Phoenix. They had a 17-point lead. They led at half by 14. They ended up losing to Phoenix.
Get an idea of the strength of Moutier.
Denver was outscored against Phoenix the other night, 65-44 in the second half. They can go up and down.
Gallinari trying to stay with Curry. Steph nowhere to go. Klay bails him out. Shot clock at 3. Barton reached, and Klay Thompson is fouled.
Yeah, they didn't have to do that. The shot clock was winding down. It was right around 2 seconds left. Ball was kind of hanging there. Klay did a good job getting his body in front to draw that foul.
Denver's over the limit, so that'll be free throws.
At the line, shooting number 11, Klay Thompson.
See Ron Adams talking to Ian Clark. The Draymond Green bobblehead, that's got the championship trophy. That'll be on Tuesday with the Lakers' first visit. First 10,000 fans. You can be there on Warriors.com. Missed second free throw, and then Klay Thompson couldn't quite bank it in. All the dribble penetration, and that time all the way to the rim.
That was impressive. He got up quickly and flushed it.
Murray. Gallinari staying with him. Draymond's got Moutier on the switch. Steph Curry 3, rimming out. So Denver could take the lead. And Will Barton does just that. Luke Walton's got to use a timeout. 11-point lead completely gone. Nuggets shooting 54%. And this young, hungry Denver squad playing better up and down basketball. And they now have the lead.
I'm Draymond Green, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
The Nugget lead at 1 with 2:19 remaining in the first half. Our Geico Advanced Analytics. The Warriors crush teams from the three-point line. In fact, nearly 19 points better per game. But so far tonight, it's only a 6-point advantage with 4 made threes to Denver's 2 made threes. And in the second quarter, they've lost the initiative. The reserves of the Nuggets started playing defense, came from 11 down, and they've got the tempo where they like it.
Well, what Luke Walton will be talking about right now in the timeout is, guys, we've got to do a better job at defense. We're letting them get easy baskets all around the rim area. Over the last 6 minutes, the Nuggets have outscored the Warriors 21-10. So they've got to get back in the defensive mode. Then that takes care of the offense.
Yeah, you look at the Warriors with 16 second quarter points. That's not great offensively, but as Jim mentioned, allowing 28 points with still more than 2 minutes left in the quarter. That's not the defense you want to bring on the road.
Not at all. And you give a hungry team like this, who got a tongue lashing from their coach after last game, you know, you can expect this kind of thing. You got to match that kind of energy.
And it's where the points are coming from in terms of all the Darrell Arthur buckets at the rim. We saw Will Barton score right before the timeout. And now it's the Nuggets squad shooting 54% from the field. In the first quarter, they were held to 39% shooting.
When you give them dunks and layups, your percentage is going to increase dramatically.
So
that's what it has.
Steph Curry, Andre Iguodala, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. This is the small unit. Klay Thompson hitting a three right out of the timeout. And we check in with Roz.
Coach Rod Adams was talking about the coverage on defensive assignments. He said they're different for certain players. We've got to be consistent. We've given them confidence. We need to take that away.
This three by Gallinari and Curry. Rebound in motion. Steph to the lane. Didn't get a call. Didn't get the bucket.
But he got a steal.
And Klay Thompson will draw a foul.
Stephen got a piece of that ball as they were trying to go up court.
Now, I'm ask you a question here.
Degree of difficulty.
Does James Harden go to the foul line there? Does Chris Paul go to the foul line there? That's the MVP of the league.
I agree. Yes, James Harden would go to the line more often than not.
And that's what Luke Walton is having a very animated discussion, saying, you know, no problem. Denver's playing great, but he just went in between two defenders and got knocked down.
At the line, shooting number 11, Klay Thompson.
They tried to squeeze through there a little bit. They may have been thinking, gee, is that ball going to curl in?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Klay Thompson hits both free throws. So this small unit is already 5-0 since they came out of the timeout. Gallinari forced into a bad three.
Excellent defense by Harrison. Took away the drive, covered the three.
Klay Thompson driving. Somehow got it to Harrison Barnes. He hits a three.
He's looking to finish the shot. You can tell Klay Thompson all of a sudden got up in the air, and there was no room for him to finish, but he found an assist.
The small unit, 8-0 run. And now Mike Malone has to use the timeout with a minute left in the first half.
Klay's made a few drives tonight. That's a little one-handed fling out to Harrison, and he cashes in.
I love the smile as Klay came to the bench. I was going to shoot it, and then, all right, I'll pass it out there. And Harrison made it look good when he hit the three. This team never stops having fun. They enjoy being around each other. They hold each other accountable, as you mentioned, Jim, which I think is great.
Well,
people are free to call each other out in the right way.
Yeah, they know they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be perfect throughout a 48-minute NBA game. But I'll tell you what, when it gets tough on them, they do not wilt under pressure. Yeah, they come out big in big times.
You know, it's interesting just flying out here yesterday with the team, and you talk to guys about that Clipper win, and they just said, even being down 14 at the half, the talk was, this is going to be a great win for us.
Yeah.
This is going to be such a great win. And the positivity and just believing after being down 23 kind of permeated the locker room.
Well, they know their capabilities at both ends of the floor. And when you have that.
Gallinari squeezed, and he will shoot free throws.
Kind of like Stephen Curry going a moment ago, wasn't it? Klay doesn't like it.
So Gallinari's 11, Darrell Arthur with 13, and Will Barton with 11 off the bench. Kind of leading the way for Denver. Yeah, I think Gallinari's intriguing because not only is he a perimeter scorer, but he can get to the line. He's not just going to live out there and shoot jumpers the whole game. And to that end, tonight, he's already got 6 free throws made in the first half.
And when he got healthy last year, he had one big month. Averaged about 27 a game.
Klay Thompson 3 is perfect.
Draymond Green knows how to set angles on his screens.
So Klay, with only 2 points in the first quarter, 11 here in the second. A 12-second game shot clock difference winding down the first half. Moutier creates space.
Tough to stop that one, too.
Warriors will play for one.
Moutier plays like he's been in the league for 6 or 7 years.
Oh, I like him. I think it's the 7th pick. There'll be a lot of teams that regretted missing him. And the 5, Klay Thompson 3 is good. So Klay Thompson with a 14-point quarter. Will Barton nearly traveled, and he's going to get a foul on an absolute bailout.
You really should not even get near him. He's doing a 360 flying Walanda. Yeah, just get out of the way. Looked like Klay was there, but you just, as I said before, Bob, you know what I'm going to say. Don't leave something in the judgment of an official at a time like that.
And I think you say it well. You know, a lot of people say, oh, that's not a foul. It's not the point.
Right.
The point is the guy's taking a spinning 41-footer.
Correct.
That has no chance of going in.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be in the same area code as that player. And so for Leroy Richardson, he's not saying there's a second left, or he's just saying, is that a contacted shot? And it probably is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's a mental error is what it is.
No, and I think you say it perfectly, Jim. Don't put yourself in position for an official to make a call. You know the score, the circumstance, the time remaining. And that's it. Now, if he had squared up and it was a catch-and-shoot 3 and you're contesting, it's one thing. He was out of control across midcourt and just flinging it up at the end of the half.
After video review, it's been determined that they are...
That will be 3 free throws.
Remaining on the clock.
And they were determining how much time was left. 0.3 of a second. Certainly the contact and the shot was attempted well within regulation.
And so the kind of wild end-to-end forays of Will Barton will pay off in 3 free throws here. Warriors were down 1. Went on an 11-2 run with that small unit. And Denver has an opportunity to close it a bit at the half.
Let's not forget Klay's had a terrific second quarter.
He's had 14 of his 16. And he's just frustrated. I mean, you don't mind. You're playing hard and playing defense. It just, the percentage choice there to contact Barton cost the Warriors 3 points.
Well, for Klay Thompson, it's almost like a birthday gift was given.
It is
that one.
It is the holiday season.
Yep.
We're getting close. So 64-58 at halftime. Warriors had an 11-point lead. Denver came all the way back to take the lead, but the small unit right before the half paid good dividends, and the Warriors have the edge at the break, and Roz is alongside Steph Curry.
Steph, a point of emphasis was starting the game strong. How do you feel you guys have done today?
We did all right. We just had that little, suspect 4 or 5 minutes in the second quarter, but on the road when you're up 6 at halftime and not playing their best, I think we'll take it. We just got to figure it out in the second half.
And how about for you? How do you fight back against all the physicality that teams throw at you? You're covered in scratches.
Just keep being aggressive. Eventually, hopefully, get to the free throw line, but I think that'll soften them up a little bit as long as you keep attacking. Things will open up, especially being a playmaker, trying to get everybody else involved.
All right, thanks, Steph.
Yes, ma'am.
Guys.
Out Steph Curry getting bounced around a little bit. Credit Denver for their effort. The Warriors trying to make history tonight with 15 straight wins to begin a season. A 6-point lead at the half. Henry Woodford, Glenn Azubuike, Jason Richardson for Warrior Halftime Live coming up right after this.